All right, so you wanted to deep dive into Stephen King, huh? Specifically, Big Driver. Buckle up, because this one's going to take you for a ride.
Yeah, this one really gets under your skin. It stays with you.
It's not just a thriller either. There's so much more going on.
Definitely. It makes you think about control, about revenge, about how fragile things can be.
So we start with Tess. She's a successful mystery writer
Right.
driving home from a speaking engagement.
Ah,
And she hates flying, much prefers to be behind the wheel.
that's important. That need for control. It's like King is setting us up for how badly things are going to go wrong.
Yeah, it's almost like that little detail about her hating to give up control, to be at the mercy of a pilot or whatever. It becomes this huge foreshadowing for what's coming later.
Totally. And don't forget that conversation she has early on with a friend about the Knitting Society crimes in her books. Remember?
You mean where they talk about how the punishment for those crimes wouldn't be nearly enough in real life?
Exactly. Like, what would real payback look like?
Ah,
Kind of gives you chills when you think about how that seemingly random chat becomes almost prophetic.
totally. Like King is planting these little seeds of unease right from the start. Okay, so Tess accepts this last-minute speaking gig at a library in Chicopee,
Uh-huh.
and she meets Ramona Norville, the head librarian.
Right.
And of course, Ramona suggests this backroad shortcut home. Stag Road. What could go wrong, right?
Famous last words.
Mm.
King is a master at that. Lulling you in, making you feel safe, and then bam, shortcut. More like the road straight into a nightmare. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. And it plays on that classic fear, venturing into the unknown, off the beaten path and into the darkness, literally.
Literally. And things go bad fast. Flat tire on this deserted road.
Out of nowhere, this huge guy in a pickup truck stops to help.
Oh, I hated this guy.
Me too. The way King describes him, imposing, tanned, those intense brown eyes under a faded cap.
Instant red flag.
Right, you just know something is off.
King doesn't need jump scares. He builds tension through atmosphere, through character.
And at first, Tess is relieved, right?
Of course,
Yeah.
who wouldn't be? Stranded on a dark road.
Yeah.
But then those little details start to creep in.
Like what?
Like, remember he makes this joke about winning the lottery and buying a Hummer? Doesn't sound that bad on the surface, but...
But it hints at something darker. A disregard for rules, maybe?
Exactly. And that feeling just gets worse when he directs her to this abandoned store.
So tools.
Right, for tools. Like, he's doing her a favor.
Mm.
But that store, it's like King dialed up the creep factor to a 10, deserted, eerie, and there's this ticking sign.
Oh, don't even get me started on that sign.
It likes you,
Pure nightmare fuel.
and you just know something terrible is going to happen.
It's not just the sign, though, right? It's everything. The smell of sweat, that ring he's wearing.
Ugh, that ring, like a bad omen.
It's all so unsettling.
King is a master of sensory details. You can practically feel the decay, the oppressive silence of that abandoned store.
It's like he's creating this palpable sense of dread, and you just know. You just know something awful is about to happen.
It's coming.
And then it happens. He attacks her.
Brutal, just brutal.
King doesn't hold back. You're right there with Tess, feeling the terror, the pain. It's a turning point. Everything changes in that moment.
It's not just the physical violence, it's about control. Remember how much Tess needed to be in control of her car, her life, and now suddenly she has none. She's totally at this guy's mercy.
And it gets worse. He hides her in a culvert, this drainage pipe, cold, dark, full of rotting leaves.
Oh God, the culvert.
And then she finds them.
The bodies.
Yeah, two other women.
It's like this punch to the gut. You realize this isn't just some random attack. This guy is a serial predator.
And that culvert, it becomes this symbol of like utter despair, being trapped. But even then, Tess finds this spark. She has to survive.
Amazing, isn't it? The will to live,
Yeah.
even after all that.
She escapes,
Some.
stumbles back to the store, injured, disoriented, but alive. And she starts singing advertising jingles.
The jingles.
Yeah.
I remember that. So strange.
Right. It's like her mind is trying to block it all out, replace the horror with something familiar.
Like a defense mechanism.
But then reality crashes back in.
What happened?
Her diamond earrings, gone.
Oh.
And that's when something changes in her. The fear is still there, but there's this anger now, this need for payback.
It's like she's not a victim anymore. She's becoming something else.
Yeah.
Harder. More determined.
Yeah, she's not going to rely on the system. She's going to take care of this herself.
Dangerous territory.
And she sets out for Kolowich, this long, painful journey, hiding from cars, fighting through the pain and the exhaustion.
Both a physical and a mental journey, like she's
Yeah.
descending into this darkness within herself.
And she thinks about calling the police.
Right.
But the thought of going public, of maybe not being believed,
It's too much.
finally she makes it to Kolowich.
Mm.
She ends up at this roadside bar, the Stagger Inn, loud music, a band called the Zombie Bakers playing.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. It's like this weird contrast to everything that's just happened.
Right, this little pocket of normalcy. But even there, things aren't what they seem.
Yeah, there's Betsy Neal.
The bar owner.
Right. Remember those courtesy calls she makes? Checking on customers who might have had too much to drink.
Seems harmless enough.
But there's this underlying sense of control,
Yeah.
Like she's always watching, always in charge.
And when Tess asks her about trouble at the bar, Neil says, well, honey, sometimes it finds you, and sometimes you find it.
Chilling.
Like she knows something bad is going to happen.
Maybe she does.
Tess tries to make an anonymous call to the police.
But
She hesitates. That fear is still there. And then she figures it out, the connection.
to the librarian,
Yeah, Ramona Norville. She wasn't just some random helpful lady.
you've in on it.
She's Big Driver's mother.
Oh, wow.
Talk about a twist. The story takes on a whole new dimension, right? It's not just about a random act of violence. It's about family, secrets, a shared capacity for evil.
And that detail about the candy dish.
Filled with his trophies.
So creepy.
Tess is done. She's going to take care of this herself.
And that's where things really start to get interesting.
Tess is ready to go full vigilante. But then she finds a picture at Big Driver's house.
Another guy.
Yeah.
A brother.
Oh, man. So it wasn't just him.
And she realizes there's more to this than she thought. It's not just one monster.
It's a family affair.
And remember those diamond earrings she lost?
During the attack.
She finds one at the brother's place, along with her stolen underwear.
That's just awful.
Talk about adding insult to injury. It's like this ultimate violation.
It just makes her rage even stronger. She's determined to get justice.
And she's not messing around.
Yeah.
She tracks the brother, Al, to a truck stop.
Using her writer's brain, like she's plotting a story, but this time it's real.
And she doesn't even hesitate. Shoots him twice.
Wow.
It's brutal, but you almost feel like he deserved it.
It's a complicated feeling, right? But even though Tess gets her revenge, it's not enough. She drives to their house to finish what she started.
So she's going after Big Driver next.
That's what she thinks. But when she gets there, she finds the other brother, Lester, and he's disabled.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Clearly not the mastermind she was expecting.
Oh my God, so she killed the wrong guy.
Talk about a twist. And to make things even worse, she finds this blood-stained stuffed animal.
What, like a child's toy?
Yeah. Hidden away in the house. It's like this whole other level of creepy. Like there's something even darker going on here.
It's messed up.
She leaves totally shaken. I mean, she just killed an innocent man.
The guilt must be crushing.
She even thinks about suicide. Puts the gun in her mouth.
Wow. This is intense.
But then her GPS starts talking to her.
Her GPS?
Yeah, Tom. The voice she uses for navigation.
What, like it's giving her directions?
No, it's different. It's like this cold, sinister voice,
Yeah.
and it starts asking her questions, making her doubt everything.
This is getting weird.
It's like her own mind is playing tricks on her.
Or maybe something else is going on.
She starts to see things she missed before.
Yeah.
Inconsistencies, things that don't add up, and then it hits her.
She figures it out.
Yeah. The real killer. It's Betsy Neal, the bar owner.
No way. The nice lady from the bar.
The one who was so helpful, so concerned. It was all an act.
This is insane.
And it all starts to make sense. The chlorine smell at the bar, like she was cleaning up. Neil knew about Big Driver's ring, even though Tess never mentioned it.
And she found Tess's car so quickly, almost like she knew where to look.
Exactly. It's all connected. And remember how Neil insisted on seeing Tess's driver's license?
So she knew her address.
And the purse Tess thought was stolen.
It was at the brother's house.
The pieces all fall into place. It was Neil all along. She was setting Tess up.
So messed up.
Tess confronts Lester. He confirms everything.
Oh, man.
Neil was watching her, grooming her to be a victim. And Tess, she could go after Neil, get her revenge.
But does she?
No, she makes a different choice. She decides to expose Neil through her writing, use her words as weapons.
Powerful.
And it really makes you think about the cost of revenge and the power of storytelling. Big Driver is more than just a horror story. It's about survival, about justice, and about finding your voice even in the darkest of times.
Definitely one that sticks with you.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time.